Most men think winning in life, relationships, and social situations is about being louder, more aggressive, or more dominant. But if you really observe the men who command the most respect, attract the most attention, and rarely lose their composure, you'll notice something different. They're calm. They don't react emotionally. They don't rush to prove themselves, and they definitely don't lose control when things get tense. Instead, they stay steady, and ironically, that calmness gives them more power than the loudest man in the room. Today we're going to break down why calm men always win, and how Tao, Stoic psychology, explains this dynamic better than almost anything else. Because once you understand this principle, you'll start seeing it everywhere. In relationships, in leadership, in social dynamics, and most importantly, you'll understand why calmness is one of the most attractive traits a man can develop. If you're new to the channel, check out the other videos on the channel where we break down the psychology of attraction, confidence, and masculine presence. Let's start with something most men completely misunderstand. The loud man versus the calm man. When most men feel pressure in a situation, they react. They explain themselves too much. They argue. They try to control how others perceive them. But calm men do the opposite. They observe first. Instead of reacting emotionally, they stay grounded. This creates something psychologists call perceived status. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals who display emotional control during stressful interactions are consistently perceived as higher status and more competent. Why? Because calmness signals power. Think about it logically. If a man loses control every time something challenges him, people subconsciously assume he lacks authority over his own emotions. But if a man stays calm when tension rises, the message is very different. It signals that he is in control, and control creates respect. This is exactly why Stoic philosophy has emphasized emotional discipline for thousands of years. The Stoics believed that the strongest man is not the one who dominates others, but the one who dominates himself. Stoic philosophy and masculine calm. One of the central ideas of Stoicism is control over reaction. The ancient philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, wrote something that perfectly explains the psychology behind calm men. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Most men try to control outside events. They try to control how women react to them. They try to control how others see them. They try to control every outcome. But calm men focus on something else, their response. They understand that reacting emotionally gives away power. And this becomes extremely important in relationships, because attraction is not just about looks or words. It's about emotional stability. Why calmness attracts women. Women are naturally drawn to emotional stability in men. This is not just a theory. Research from the University of Michigan on emotional regulation in romantic partners found that individuals who demonstrate consistent emotional stability are rated as more attractive and more desirable for long-term relationships. The reason is simple. Emotional stability signals safety. When a man remains calm under pressure, he communicates that he can handle difficult situations without collapsing emotionally, and that trait has historically been associated with leadership and protection. But here's the mistake many men make. They try to appear calm on the surface while feeling chaotic internally. That doesn't work. People are incredibly good at detecting emotional tension. True calmness is not pretending. It's developed through mindset, and Stoicism provides one of the best frameworks for building it. Fuerte. The Stoic mental framework. Stoic psychology teaches something incredibly powerful. Separate what you can control from what you cannot. Most anxiety, insecurity, and emotional reactions come from focusing on things outside your control. For example, whether someone likes you, whether someone texts you back, whether someone respects you. Calm men understand that none of these things can be forced. Instead, they focus on what is within their control, their behavior, their mindset, their direction in life. And paradoxically, this detachment often creates the exact respect and attraction they were trying to chase before. Because calm men are not seeking validation. They're grounded in themselves. 1. Calmness creates psychological gravity. There's a powerful social dynamic that happens when someone remains calm in a chaotic situation. People gravitate toward them. This is sometimes referred to as psychological gravity. When everyone else becomes reactive, the calm person becomes the emotional center of the room, and humans instinctively move toward stability. You can see this everywhere, in leadership, in sports, in relationships. The person who maintains composure often becomes the one others follow, not because they demanded authority, but because their calmness naturally creates it. Winks why reactive men lose respect. Now let's talk about the opposite, reactive behavior. When a man reacts emotionally to everything, criticism, disagreement, or social pressure, something subtle happens. His frame collapses. Frame simply means your emotional and psychological stability in an interaction. And the moment you lose it, people feel it. They sense uncertainty. They sense insecurity, which is exactly why we made the video. The moment you lose frame, she starts losing attraction. If you haven't seen that yet, it explains how emotional reactions instantly change how people perceive you. But calm men rarely lose frame, because they don't attach their identity to every situation. They remain grounded. Calmness is a form of power. Most people misunderstand power. They think power means controlling others. Stoicism teaches something very different. Real power is control over self. When a man becomes emotionally disciplined, several things change. He becomes harder to manipulate, harder to provoke, harder to destabilize. And in social dynamics, the man who cannot be easily destabilized automatically gains leverage. People respect him more, trust him more, and yes, they are more attracted to him. How to develop calmness. Calmness is not something you are born with. It is trained. Stoic philosophy teaches several practices that build this mental strength. The first is pause before reaction. Most emotional reactions happen instantly, but calm men insert a small pause between stimulus and response. That pause gives them control. The second is detachment from outcome. When you stop obsessing over results, your emotional state becomes more stable. The third is self-reflection. Stoic philosophers practice daily reflection to analyze their reactions and improve their emotional discipline. Over time, this creates something extremely powerful. Emotional resilience. The calm man. Advantage. When a man develops this level of composure, his entire presence changes. He speaks slower, moves slower, thinks clearer. People begin to see him differently, not because he is trying to appear dominant, but because his calmness naturally communicates confidence, and confidence that doesn't need to be proven is the most powerful kind. Final thoughts. In a world where most people react emotionally to everything, the calm man stands out. He doesn't chase validation. He doesn't panic when tension rises. and he doesn't lose control when tested. Instead, he stays grounded, and that grounded presence quietly shifts the dynamic in every room he enters. That is why calm men often win in the long run, not because they fight harder, but because they remain steady while everyone else becomes reactive. If you want to develop that kind of presence, make sure you watch the other videos on this channel where we break down the psychology of frame, attraction, and masculine composure. New videos drop Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you found this video valuable, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what topic you want covered next. I'll see you on the next one.